A very good evening to one and all. Welcome to the 25th session of SNTTC. And today's topic is assessment methods. We all are very much aware that after the implementation or after NEP 2020 has been introduced or put forth by the educational department, there are lots of changes that have happened to not only classroom interaction methods but also to the assessment process. So today we have with us our resource person and also the regional coordinator of Karnataka SNTTC, Mrs. Aswini Srinivasan, who is here to share her knowledge with regard to different methods of assessments, which you can use as a facilitator as to assess immediately your students after the, explanation of the concepts, or even I think as a part of examination and evaluation also. Even I am unaware, eagerly waiting to know what is that she is going to share with us today. And the stage is all yours, Mrs. Ashwini Srinivas.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, dear participants. I gladly welcome you all to the session. Can I start, sir? Yes. Okay. Today's topic is methods of assessment. We'll move to the next slide, sir. Here we have a picture. By seeing this picture, what you people understand, can you come forward and tell? By seeing this picture, what you people think and what you people feel, why this picture is given in today's session. Can anyone come forward and share your thoughts or points?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
As per my knowledge, this is, few are, when assessment is happening, few are easy to, pass that, and few are struggling to do that one like that.
Okay. Yes. Any other answers, dear teachers? Dear participants?
Ma'am, can I share?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, actually method of assessment means that there will be a different level of assessment for different student, because
Yes.
every student is different. So we have to schedule our assessment according to the students.
Yes, you're exactly right, ma'am. As Kanchan ma'am said, assessment means it is not going to be the same thing for all the children. Each child will be different, or each child will be having some special knowledge in one or some other things. So let us observe each and every child's special way or particular talents, and let us give importance of assessment in that ways. Next slide, sir. Okay, here it is the agenda of today's session. What is assessment? Different kinds of assessment methods, usefulness of assessment, developing assessment methods, benefits and limitations, purpose of assessment, and scope of assessment. Next slide, sir. Apart from these topics, is there any other expectations from your end, dear participants? Okay. Here, ground rules of the session. Camera should be turned on. Everyone should participate. Everyone's ideas are most important. Listen to the person talking and respond to the chat box. Please make sure that you're on mute. Next slide, sir. Okay. What is assessment? Here, an assessment is a diagnostic process that measures an individual's behaviors, motivators, attitudes, or other selected qualities. Assessment gives organizations more than just data and information. It opens door to strategic change and helps measure progress. So what is assessment in education? It is not just judging people, judging students or something. We are going to see in which field or which particular subject this child is more talented. So assessment in education refers to the systematic process of evaluating, measuring, and documenting the academic readiness, learning process, skill acquisition, or educational needs of each and every child. Next slide, sir. Okay. Why assessment is so important? Can you tell your suggestions or tell your points why assessment is so important?
How far the concept reach the children?
Can you say once again, ma'am?
How far the child understood the concept?
Okay, to know how far the child has understood the concept. Any other
It
answers?
helps us to understand the learning gap also, ma'am. With the help of assessments, we can assess the learning gap of a child.
Yes, you're right, Meenu ma'am. To know about students' understanding. Yes, your answers are right. Thank you for your great answers. So assessment is a very crucial part in education system. As we teachers also feel, assessing a child is different task. So its outcome is like measuring learning outcomes. It is to motivate the students and to collect some instructions or information about the child, where and in which place the child is weak or the child's strength. And here assessment helps monitor students progress and contributes to enforcing the assessment triangle. So next slide, sir. Here we have an assessment triangle. First is we are going to
नीचे से पैंट पजामा बकर पैंट जीन्स पहन
we are going to observe, and we are going to interpretation, and we are going to the final one is like cognition. That is, observation is assessment task, interpretation is evaluation and interpretation, cognition is knowledge, skills, and abilities. So here assessment plays a vital role in enhancing the quality and effectiveness of education, ensuring that all students have the opportunity to achieve their full potential. Here, by observing only, we can know where the child is weak or where the child is very good in particular subject. After that only we'll come to know their knowledge, skills, or abilities.
Ashwini ma'am, unmute yourself. Yes.
After observing, after evaluating the child, then only we'll come to know the knowledge that a student has gained from us. That is the outcome where we are going to see. Next one, sir. Okay. How assessment can help you? Here are few steps how assessment will help us. Next slide, sir. It is like why individuals or groups are succeeding or struggling in their work. So when we assess, we'll come to know that how the child has got success, how the child is struggling to do or read that particular subject, what leaders must do to successfully execute a strategy, how to coach people in a meaningful and inspiring way, ways to make change occur, specific behaviors needed to perform in a new role. So if a child is weak, what ways can be taken to help the child to come up in that particular subject? A higher level of jobs, morale, or satisfaction. If every child gains at least 50% of knowledge only, as a teachers, even we feel happy. So when we do assessing, there we can know about the child weakness or strength, and we can support the child to come up with their upcoming success and steps. Next one, sir. Okay, here comes developing assessment methods, deciding what to measure. Deciding what to measure in assessment is a critical step that influences the effectiveness and relevance of the evaluation process. Here, first thing we can do is educational objectives, that is aligned assignment with the specific learning objectives and goals of the subject. And the next one, deciding what to measure. First step I said is educational objectives. Second step is curriculum standard. Ensure that the assessment criteria are consistent with curriculum standards and guidelines set up by educational authorities or your institutions. And students' need. Consider the diverse needs and backgrounds of students. Assessment should be inclusive and equitable, providing all students with the opportunity to demonstrate their learning. See, if one child is not good in writing question answers, we'll just ignore. But that child might be good in doing some other things like activities, drawing, so and so. So we have to give opportunity to each child where they can demonstrate their learning or their strength. Deciding how to measure it, it involves selecting appropriate methods and tools to evaluate the learning outcomes effectively. Here, the first point is alignment with learning. That is, different objectives may require different types of assessment. For example, knowledge recall versus application of skills. And the second point can be diverse assessment method. Use a variety of assessment methods to capture a comprehensive picture of students' learning. For examples, it can be like test and quizzes, essay and written assignments, projects and portfolios, presentations and oral exams, and self-assessment. Next one is deciding how to present the results. Here, presenting assessment results is effective in education, and it is crucial for ensuring that the information is understandable, actionable, and meaningful for students, parents, and also other educators. So first thing what we have to do here is clarity and simplicity. Straightforward manner of giving the results. Instead of giving some hidden points to know about their marks or results, straightforward manner and avoiding technical jargon. And next one here is visual aids like bar graphs, color codings, and line graphs can be particularly effective for visualizing the results. And next one, strength and areas for improvement. Here it clearly identifies strength and areas for improvement of each student. By considering these strategies, educators can present assessment results in a way that is informative, motivating, and supportive of continued learning and improvement. Yes, ma'am, as you said, holistic report card and outcome of student. So these are the three assessment methods which can develop a student's weakness to a strength. So here we are going to question like what to do, to whom we are going to do, when, by which time they are going to do, where and how. These questions can be placed here to know about the child's level or child's strength in particular subjects. Next slide, sir. Here comes types of assessment. Here the first one is self-assessment. Can you people tell me what is self-assessment? Why self-assessment is required or why it is needed?
Hello, can I speak?
Yes, sir.
Yes, self-assessment is primarily when a student judges himself or herself as to judge his or her own progress.
Yes, exactly. You're right,
That is
sir.
one thing. And
Yeah.
the purpose of this is probably this will help the student to try and go on his or her own without the need of a supervisor, so
Okay.
that, you know, much of the supervisor's burden is reduced. This will help a student in getting he or she would be able to more or less judge his or her own performance, rather than able to take responsibilities on their own, rather than waiting for a supervisor to get the studies done from them.
sir, exactly your answer was right. Thank you so much for your answer. Yes, here
but-
self-assessment means student is going to know about themselves first, so that introspection of oneself. Yes, you're right, ma'am. So that the student can know about himself or herself and they can improve their learning outcomes. So here, self-assessment in education refers to the process where students evaluate their own work and learning process, and it improves learning outcomes, provides immediate feedback, and fosters critical thinking, and it builds self-confidence to the students. Next one, assessment by supervisor, that is assessment by we teachers. It involves a more experienced or authoritative figure evaluating the performance, progress, and achievements of students. Here it includes like expert evaluation and professional development, support and guidance of teachers to the students when and where they are weak, and performance review. When we assess, we will give them where they are lagging back or where they can improve their ways in that way, and student progress monitoring. Next slide, sir. Here, assessment method utilization. First one is personal selection and the next one is performance evaluation. Next one, sir. Self-reflection to improve oneself. Yes, you're right, Reshma ma'am. Yes, can anyone guess what this picture would be? Yes, dear teachers, come forward to give your answers.
Is it difference in learning outcome?
Okay. Any other answer, dear teachers? Okay, this picture.
Center of attraction.
I can't hear you, ma'am.
Center of attraction.
Center of attraction. Okay.
This person is perfectly evaluated. The student is perfectly evaluated.
Okay. Student is perfectly evaluated. Okay. Next slide, sir.
Should the assessment be student-centric?
Ma'am, he or she has achieved the all the outcomes of the topic or the subject.
Okay.
I think it is student-centric assessment. Personal, completely to the student. Is it so?
Yes, sir, you're right. It is personal selection assessment. Next one. So here, personal assessment tools. Here it is like what is the purpose of assessing, what they are designed to measure, what they are designed to predict, format, level of standardization, objectivity, and quantifiability. Next slide, sir. Here comes few methods for personal selection. First one is physical ability test. Can anyone tell me how we can do this physical ability test for students?
With the outdoor activities, ma'am, we can take them outdoor and we can
Yes,
give them
ma'am, you're
activities.
exactly right. It is like outdoor activities. It is designed to assess the physical capabilities of individuals, typically for roles that require specific physical competencies, such as physical education teachers, coaches, or other position involving physical activities. Next one, personality inventories. It is a standardized tools used to assess individual personality traits, behaviors, and characteristics. In the context of educational, personality inventories can be valuable for selecting personal, understanding students' need, and fostering a positive educational environment. Next one is interest inventories. What is interest inventories? Can anyone tell me? According to your point of view.
Ma'am, may I?
Yes.
ma'am, maybe the child is good in art or maybe in outdoor activities. That is his interest, na?
Yes, knowing about the interest of child's particular activity or things. That is, it is a testing instrument designed for the purpose of measuring and evaluating the level of an student's interest in or preference for a different types of activities. Next is assessment centers. It is process where candidates are examined to determine their suitability for specific types of activities or achievements. Next one is observation. What is observation in assessment? Aptitude, which subject is interested? Yes, you're right, Sushma ma'am. Hobbies, correct. Yes, what is observation in assessment?
To see how the child is performing on a regular basis.
Yes, you're exactly right, Marina ma'am. It involves obtaining evaluate information through direct observation. Next is achievement test. Achievement test, it is developed to measure skills and knowledge learned in a given grade level. Achievement tests are often contrasted with aptitude test, how much he has understood the concept. Yes, you're right, Sushma ma'am. And next one is general ability test. What is general ability test?
Ma'am, I think general ability could mean, say, general aptitude, mathematical abilities, or understanding his language or his or her language skills, or maybe, some reasoning tests that are usually conducted. Is that it?
Yes, exactly. You're right, sir. General ability test is a standardized assessment of an applicant's, that is general reasoning ability. Next one, specific ability test. What is specific ability test? How much he has general knowledge? Yes, ma'am. Specific ability test then?
To test the specific ability of a child. What he is
Ma'am, can I? Yes, ma'am,
Yes, sir.
specific abilities, it could mean two things. First of all, the special ability that he or she has, maybe something related to maths, he's good at numbers, or maybe something related to art, good at drawing and all that. Or maybe there might be some general specific abilities conducted from the supervisor side to judge what kind of abilities that the student might be having.
Yes, sir, you're right. And what is good at and interesting particular topic. Yes, you're
Can
right.
I add a
my-
point, Ashwini ma'am?
And
Every
Yes, sir.
subject has got different concepts, isn't it? Like in math, if you take math, though I am not a math
Yes, sir.
person, in math there are different aspects like calculation, isn't it?
Yes.
It is different things. Like maybe a child is good at calculations and bad at geometry. Within that
Yeah,
subject
yes,
itself, there are certain specifications, am I right? Coming to
yes,
English,
sir, you're right.
a child might be very good at giving a speech, but not good at creative writing.
Yes, sir,
Am I right? Might be a good listener, but not a good speaker.
you're right. So here,
So,
specific.
subject-wise specificities, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir, you're right. Okay, here it standardized the assessment which measures specific cognitive aptitudes such as verbal reasoning, numerical reasoning, and inductive reasoning according to maths. And other subjects has how our Ravikant sir specified it. And the next one, sir. It could be having special abilities in cognitive. Yes, you're right, dear teachers.
and
Okay, here.
I feel not only in academics, what a child is having, which other fields is having a talented or skilled, not only related to academics, I feel so.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. Some child might be weak in studies and he might be good in sports. In that way also it relates.
I mean, to make this more, to just add more to this, I suppose this specific ability test can be also used to know the multiple intelligence of the child. For example, after conducting a SAT, that is specific
Yes, sir.
ability test, if at all we might understand that the child is kinesthetically intelligent, maybe teacher can integrate those aspects while training the child, I mean teaching the child, or
Yes,
even
sir.
we can use those aspects as to conduct an assessment for the child,
Yes,
isn't it?
sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
I suppose.
Okay, here comes the next slide. Okay, methods for performance assessment. Why performance assessment is needed? Can anyone tell me?
Ma'am, performance assessment, again, to see the progress, how much he or she has understood and how much needs to be covered in the future for the progress.
Yes, you're exactly right, sir. Quiz, heart related to motivate the child. Yes, dear teachers, your answers are exactly matching. So, performance evaluation is defined as a formal and productive procedure to measure and students' work and result based on their learning or achievement. So, here comes the first point is performance appraisals. It refers to the regular review of an student performance and overall contribution towards each subject and how much they have learned. That is the performance appraisals. And the next point is work samples. Work samples is that it displays something other than the academic side, like activities.
Works and the class works.
Yes, yes,
The
ma'am.
class
You're
works and the
exactly right.
chart works.
Yes, you're right, ma'am. To see the extent to which learning outcomes have been achieved so far. Yes, you're right, ma'am. So here, a work sample displays, among other things, the objectives, instructional and assessment procedure, student performance data and interpretation of the success. This work samples not only mean to be academic side, it is also like activities, lab things, lab activities which they do, or the chart works given by the subject teachers, so and so it relates. And next one is reference check. What is reference checks? What is reference check? Any idea?
Is it constantly observing how far the child has reached?
Yes, sir. You're right.
Constantly, I mean, after every week, maybe in the last assessment, teacher understood here is an improvement that is needed. She has done
Yes,
some
sir.
remediation, and this week again, she is conducting an assessment to know how
Yes.
far the child has reached. Is it
Improved.
that?
How? Yes,
How
sir.
far the improvement
How
is
far the child has improved from day 1 to day 10. It is something like that. So
again,
it is
10 to 20, 20 to 30.
Yes.
So it goes on.
Yes, sir. Taking reference from other teachers, yes, it includes that also, ma'am. So here it provides insight into candidate skills, performance, knowledge, and achievement history from a subject. That is from each subject. We are going as a class teacher, as a subject teachers, even if a student is very weak, we used to discuss about that particular child, how to make him strong or how to make him to become good in academics. In that way, we are checking about that particular student with other teachers or with even parents. Next slide, sir. Here, when performance assessment is done, from a critical thing to we are going to make it as an excellent one. Next, why conduct assessment? Here, why do we conduct assessments here? First, we select in which type of format or thing we are going to conduct the assessment. That is the first one. And promotion. If the child is getting good marks, we promote the child. And the second thing is like development. From if a child is good in some particular subject or some particular topic, we make the child to develop in that particular area so much. And here the next one is program evaluation. After that, we see the evaluation of the child, how much they have achieved or they have learned. Next slide, sir. Here, benefits of assessment test. Here, first one is reduce absenteeism. First of all, when we keep test, literally we'll say that the information will be like, if you take leave or if you are absent for the test, we'll not conduct the re-exam, will not conduct the retest. So it benefit of assessment test, first point is to reduce absenteeism, and second one is to promote. From, if it is a final exam, from one class to the next class, we are going to promote the child and improve productivity. If the exam we say, child will come, sit and they start studying. If we just say learn this lesson or learn this page and come today, they will learn. But the children, one who are very sincere, the children one who are good in academics, they will do that. But when we say we have test today, so learn and come this one, definitely the child will do. So it improves productivity, becomes self-learner. Become self-learner in the sense, without saying you have a test tomorrow in this topic, will the child sit and read in home? Lesson 1, for example, you keep it as food and digestion topic. You have to read and come this lesson. If you just say read and come, will the child learn that lesson? I want answer from you, dear teachers.
Some children do, some children do not.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. That's what the children, those who are good in academics, those who are interested in studies, and those who want to get first marks or something, they will learn and come. But what about other students, those who are weak or those who are not interested to study? So what it will do when we give assessment, definitely they will learn and come. What we are going to keep for the test, that particular topic, they will learn and come. So it becomes self-learning there, and it improves goals and objectives and get more academic achievement. So when we keep test after each lesson, when we keep test, what happens, each and every lesson, as soon as we complete, the child learns there itself. So it will not be a burden for the child to learn during the exam time. When it is previously learned topics, they can just revise, and it will be easy for them to learn, and it will be easy for them to write, and even we can assess it. Even we may feel happy when they get more marks. So get more academic achievement. Next slide, sir. Okay, here comes the purpose of assessment. The first point of the purpose is to motivate the students. So how can we motivate the students by assessing or keeping an assessment?
Through words and giving stars.
Okay, through words or through giving stars. Any
Appreciate
other?
for what he knows and give feedback for what he doesn't know.
Yes, sir. Even that,
Praise in
that
front
is
of the
applicable.
class. We praise them in front of the class when they do well.
Yes. Yes, you're right, ma'am. Appreciate is appreciation. So how to motivate the students here is, we will appreciate them, we'll give some stars, or we'll make them to stand in front of the class, and we'll ask other students to clap for them. So even it is happening in many schools. And the next point is to select students for admission. So when we achieve more, what happens?
Automatically the standards of the school will get increased, and the admission, the number of students will get admitted in the school.
Okay. Without keeping assessment, can we take a child for admission in the school? Like entrance exam, like oral test, without keeping that thing, can we admit a child in the school? Is it happening anywhere?
No, ma'am, not.
No.
No.
So
No. We will conduct
assessment
assessment.
helps.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So assessment helps a student to get admission in the school. And the next point is to evaluate the effectiveness of a single teaching method. Anyone can tell how come a single teaching method can be effective?
That is the purpose of conducting an assessment, isn't it? So it is
Yes, sir.
also an evaluation for the teacher, whether the
Yes.
teacher's methodology of teaching, did it reach to all the students? So accordingly, teacher can reteach the topic or correct himself or herself.
Yes, you're exactly right, sir. Next point is to evaluate the entire educational institution. For example, if in particular one subject the children are getting less marks, what happens? It will be a drawback for the institution.
That particular teacher needs to be screened and she or he needs to be trained. Management has to take a call.
Yes, you are right, sir. Yes, Sushma ma'am, you were about to say something.
That's what, if any, I mean to say, if the particular subject is not taken up, so it will be the bad impression on the institution. So we have to guide the teacher over there where she's going wrong.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. So to evaluate the entire educational institution. So one teacher is going wrong means what happens there? The entire teacher in that particular school or organization will be blamed, or they will be tested by other parents. It will go in that way. Am I right? Teacher can improve their teaching methods. Yes, ma'am, you're right. And the next one is to provide information for grading, reporting to parents, and promoting students. So when we conduct assessment, is it good if we are not saying the reports to the parents? Even parents should know that how far their children are achieving or they are coming out. Am I right? To provide information for grading,
Yes,
reporting to parents and promoting students without, so for example, you just take one child is weak in studies. We are keep encouraging him and we are keep telling him in the class to read. We are conducting remedial classes also for that